Hey guys, welcome to episode 11 of the Sounds Legit podcast. I have an idea for the title of this episode, but I'm gonna have to finish it first before I put it on. But anyways, how you guys doing? Everyone okay? I had planned to record an episode with two of my buddies, but it fell last minute, so I'm gonna have to pick up the weight on this one. But I should be able to record another session with Audacious next week, so willing. Hopefully, we should be more fortunate this time. Bit of housekeeping. You can find this podcast show on YouTube. To be honest, I'd give you the whole thing, but it just means I probably have to just spout off incoherent code at you. So if you ever go to YouTube, just do a search for Sounds Legit Podcast. You should see my channel, all the videos. I'm also on Libsyn. I almost thought of abandoning Libsyn because I thought it wasn't working, but now I discovered that for you to actually get my shows on the go, it needs to be fed to your device using the RSS feed, and I thought I did set up an RSS feed, but apparently I discovered that I had to use something called a RSS aggregator to actually populate, like to push those data out. So I fucked up there. So I'm going to work on that between today and tomorrow, since it's a bank holiday. I'm trying to get that out. That means I have to literally start uploading all the other episodes on Libsyn. I think I stopped at episode 5, which was a long time ago. So yeah, I'm also on Libsyn. So if you go to soundslegitpodcast.libsyn.com/podcast, you find me there. I recently just opened up a channel on SoundCloud. Now, I could also give you the SoundCloud details, but it's just SoundCloud user, etc., etc. I don't think SoundCloud takes you seriously until you start paying them money. So yeah, like I said, I just have to figure out this whole podcast RSS aggregator. I thought it's interesting because in my previous podcast series, Two Dudes Talking, I thought that I didn't really understand that. So I was on this podcast site and I set up my RSS feeds and everything, and yet it wasn't going out. So I was like, are these guys skimping me for money? Because you pay for such a service, and then I left them. And at that point, I was thinking of closing down Two Dudes Talking anyway, and I did. And I realized it's just my ignorance that was playing to the fore. So I will work on that and see. I should be able to sort it out. It shouldn't be too hard. But yeah. So, and this is a feedback one of my buddies told me. I said, dude, I mean, yeah, I can't leave YouTube open on my phone. So it'd be nice if you can get, why isn't your podcast showing up on the RSS feeds? I'm like, that is a very good question. I've been trying to figure out for the past couple of months. Hey, come on, guys. I got to work. I have other things to do. So, and this is a learning process. So every feedback is welcome. But yes, this is episode 11 of the Sounds Legit podcast, recorded on the 29th of May, 2016. It's interesting because I woke up a bit late. So I've been trying to get the guys I play football with. We should start at 10:30, and now I'm going to be late because if I'm going to do this for another hour, it means I'm going to finish at probably 10:15, leaving me with roughly 16 minutes to shower, get ready for football. I play with a bunch of savages every Sunday morning. It's insane. Been doing that since 2007. But anyways, hope you guys are good. Now, a couple of days ago, I was having breakfast, and I just had this thought, which I thought was slightly depressing, but amusing at the same time. I was like, okay, I'm a guy, and last time I checked, hang on, I'll check again. Apparently everyone's gender fluid now, so you never know. I might be like a warfish or walrus in about 8 minutes from now, so I'll check back with you again. Gender fluid. Ugh. Honestly, I remember it was last year. I was on this dating online dating app, and I came across this profile, and this lady was just like, "Oh yeah, gender fluid," and I was just like, "Nope." I'm not willing to play Russian roulette on your gender, man. If you can't even get that right, then what the fuck are we doing? Honestly. It's like, oh, so I don't know what gender you are. I'm actually interested in women. So if you can't, if you just go away, sort that out, and come back to me when you're sure what you bring to the table. So what the fuck? It's like, oh, gender fluid. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, you have an assigned gender. Unless you change it yourself, you have an assigned gender. Yeah, you might be fluid upstairs, but last time I checked, I can't hack your brain. Your brains aren't, our brains aren't hackable. Gender fluid. Jeez. And the other thing I found out, I saw this profile. To be honest, see, I'm doing it again. I'm going off topic. Maybe I get nervous about my topics. Oh my God, my topics are so huge. Then I just go the other direction. But anyways, I saw this other profile. And there's this lady that said, oh, she's in an open relationship. And somehow this dating app actually linked the relationship she was, the guy, who is she in? The app linked the guy's profile she's in a relationship with. So I checked it out. And I was like, it's not a bad looking guy, well dressed, coiffed, well pleasant. I was like, okay, so they're in an open relationship. Okay, fine. That is their choice. But I started thinking, again, another depressing thought. I'm like, if you are in an open relationship with that guy, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what's going to happen here? What are you doing? I mean, what hopes are there for like punks like me? I was like, Jesus Christ, man. If you're in an open relationship with that dude, what the fuck are you doing here? I mean, you probably should be dating some Hollywood star or something. And yeah, I did look at the guy. And fairness to its due, the guy looked really good. And like, that's what a lot of chicks would kill for. And she was like, yeah, I got him. But I want more. It's like, what more do you want? What do you want? What more do you want? I don't get that. In a way I do. Because I did read, I really should finish this book. What's it called? From Dr. Christopher Ryan, Sex at Dawn. Which, the entire book, I haven't read it, but I haven't completed the book. But, I mean, it does hint that, humans are meant to be, in a way, polyamorous or something. I don't know. Because we're like a mixture between chimpanzees and bonobo apes. Bonobo apes, it's like a society. Do you hear those birds over there? Yeah, I'm going to go kill them next for breakfast. Humans are a mix between chimpanzees and bonobo apes. Bonobo apes, they just fuck all the time. And that's how they fix everything. They don't fight, they just fuck. So, you stole my bananas. I did? Let's fight. No, actually, let's just fuck, all right? And it's just like they respect no boundaries, except for some bizarre reason, the mother never has sex with any of her sons. So every other thing goes, though. First cousins, second cousins, father-daughter relationships. And I think I've spoken about this before a couple of episodes ago, wasn't I? Wasn't that what led to me just ranting on about incestuous relationships and laws regarding incest for the rest of the episode? How did I even start? I think it was Game of Thrones. But so the other aspect of that spectrum is chimpanzees, where you have like one guy with a harem, just dominating everything. So humans are a mixture of both. And so when I see, people say, oh, they're polyamorous and whatnot, open relationships, I kind of get it. But at the same time, like, yeah, but that was back when there was maybe 110 people in the tribe. So everyone knew everyone, Like, children were raised by more than one mother. So the children were just raised en masse by a bunch of mothers. And the men would go out and hunt, and they would bring back the spoils, and everyone would share it, and everyone had a community. And everything was really balanced out. So no one got left behind unless you were a super, super douchebag. For all the women in the village saying they're not going to fuck you or something. You got to be such an asshole for that. But then again, yeah, it's like, I can imagine the guys sitting around like a campfire, but like, your current partner, whatever, I fancy a bit of that. This guy, like, dude, you're not gonna regret it. I just tapped that. It's amazing. She cooks afterwards, man. She feeds you afterwards. Like, dude, high five. And I mean, I suppose the exact same thing happens on the other end with the women when they're gathering around the river, washing their clothes or whatever, gathering berries and looking out for the next crocodile so it doesn't jack one of them. Can you imagine that? Every single time you go to a river, there's that possibility that some of those fucking crazy crocodiles or alligators, which, by the way, I think should be fucking extinct, because there's some animals that, honestly, I don't understand why. Okay, fine. I suppose we need leather handbags, so we should keep a population of crocodiles and alligators going. But sometimes, man, those things are cunts. You know, they're just fucking cunts. They're just cold. They only exist to eat. They'll kill anything. They'll kill any man. They'll kill any man. Before I dive off into that direction entirely, can you imagine women just having like a chat, because women talk. Yeah, you do. You all do talk. You're like the Borg. You just constantly synchronize the information. It's insane. If I say something to one woman, my mom knows about it 2 days later. Imagine that 6 degree of separation. It's insane. My point is, they'll be at the river and it was like, yeah, you know what? So yeah, he was quite nice actually. So, yeah, I should fancy a go at him actually. Would you mind? So, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go look after the kids and everything. So he usually gets back, and he likes it when the hut is swept and there's a bit of fish being smoking on the side. He likes it when you put your tits out. When you greet him, just give him that extra hug, and maybe just cock his balls a bit. And yes, I know you women talk about stuff like that, so don't you dare come at me and say, you're being crude, son. No. I know you women talk shit. You men talk shit. Men talk shit. Women talk shit. Come on. Let's be real. I remember talking to... See, I haven't even started the topic I want to talk about. I haven't even started that, so I'm just ranting off randomly here. I remember speaking to a friend of mine. So we all had a mutual friend that dated someone outside the group. And then I think he started dating one of her friends. And I was like, so I ran this hypothetical situation with her. I was like, okay, listen. So let's say she and that guy, whom you kind of fancy anyway, because they both fancy him, and they both told me separately that they kind of fancy the guy. I was like, all right. And she was like, okay, so I asked her the question. I was like, what if they started going out for like a year or two and then they break out? And you were aware of that, you were interacting with them the entire time. Would you still fancy him, like have sex with him? She's like, yeah. I'm like, whew, okay, So that was very interesting for me, because for guys, it's literally almost the opposite, especially if it's like, if I was hanging out with my buddy and his girlfriend, I'm only going to bring in marriage because that's absolute no-go, of course. Shit, you fuck around with the marriage, you're dealing with the creator of the universe over here. The guy created the entire Milky Way galaxy, etc., universes. You want to fuck with that guy? The guy that, they married in his presence. So he's playing golf in Alpha Centauri and occasionally dials in. When people get married, it's like, oh yeah, you get married. Yeah, you have my blessings. Go forth, multiply, etc. You want to fuck with that guy? Marriages? No, stay the fuck away from that, man. Relationships are open season, though, if you're a douchebag. But no, my point is, if I'm aware of the guy and he's dating some chick and they broke up and she was having a pass at me, there is no fucking way I'm touching her, that's me. Some guys, they're like proper. I know such a guy. He doesn't give a fuck, man. He's going anywhere. The guy's like a fucking guerrilla warfare John Rambo behind enemy lines type character. It's like fucking Guns of Navarone, but it's just with one guy instead of like a bunch of them. That's a callback to a very old movie that my stepdad used to watch. I never actually watched that. Probably should, because it has like Harrison Ford in it. But anyways, yeah, this guy doesn't give a fuck. He would just bang anything. And even I think last time I spoke to him about it, even marriages doesn't mean anything. Because he's like, listen, if the woman is so far gone that she's willing to fuck me outside of marriage, that's on her. That's not me. That's on her. I'm not going to press her. But if she opens up for me, I'm going to take it. I'm just like, whew, okay. And what about the guys? Like, yeah, it's his fault. I had nothing to do with it. They got married and she's apparently looking outwards. That's the guy's responsibility as well. So I'm like, yeah, I suppose, But for me, going back to a relationship, I can't do it, man. Because it's like, I don't know. And I think it's with a lot of guys as well. For me, if I should be honest, it's just, because I can't help but think about my buddy's penis going into her. And I'm like, I don't want to go there, I'm perfectly fine. If it's a stranger I've never met, that's fine. I don't give a shit. If she's banged 50 dudes before that, I don't care. I really don't care. It's like, well, don't tell me about all of them, obviously. But I don't care. You know, it's like, that's why I don't get a bunch of dudes. They want the girlfriends to be pure or something. And I'm like, okay, we live in 21st century. That's not going to happen. And the other thing is that they want to ask their girlfriends who their previous partners are. Now, those dudes are insecure because there is that pathway, there is only ruin and damnation. You know, why the fuck would you want to find out how many partners your girlfriend has banged in the past? Dude, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, if you consider the following logarithm or equation or hypothesis, if a woman wants to literally fuck, it's the easiest thing ever. I mean, and she can flip any dude if she wants to fuck him, you know. I was speaking to a buddy recently. She's a woman, and she was asking me about my sex. I was like, I'm alright at the moment. I'm not really, because I've been very busy doing projects on all my hobbies and doing this, so I haven't been really been paying attention. And she was saying, "Oh yeah, dude, you need to get laid." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not like I can just walk up to Walmart or to Waitrose or Sainsbury's. Oh yeah, can I fancy a brunette tonight? Yeah, I mean, no, that's not how it works with guys. I mean, we are like fucking sharks. We were just born swimming." And I told her, like, the easiest thing for a woman if she wanted to get laid, she just goes to a bar, buys a drink, and stands there. Maybe occasionally wiggle her tits. You know, that's it. That's all she needs to do. She's gonna have a line going around the block like fucking Soviet Union when there was a bread shortage or something. For dudes, we have to do everything. Now, if you don't know a lot about sharks, I'm gonna watch a documentary about sharks to update. But sharks are born swimming. I kid you not. The last time I saw clips about sharks or whatever, they were following this pregnant shark thingy, fish. I think it's a fish, right? It has to be fish. It has gills, yeah. And the shark is a very interesting design because they can't stop moving, because that's the only way the gills can filter oxygen out of the water is if there's a constant flow of it. So imagine this, right? This female shark, pregnant, about to give birth to another shark, she is swimming and she's giving birth while she's swimming. Now, in this particular clip, I think went off my train of thought there. In this particular clip, she was literally giving birth on camera, you know. I mean, humans are a bit fucking rude, man. I mean, we're just poking cameras into everything. Anyways, she squirts out the shark. Instantly, after 2 seconds, that thing starts swimming. You know, it literally starts swimming. I'm like, fuck me, man. What a fucking life. What a fucking life right there. But yeah, that's human, but men for you. I mean, we're just born right from the get-go. Our egos are hammered. We're told, listen, dude, no one gives a shit. Nah, that's not true. I mean, I'm talking about me in the 80s, man. That's what, you know, if you grew up in the 80s, I think they call us the millennials, actually. And I think we're preceded by the baby boomers, and then we're succeeded by Generation X, because nobody knows what the fuck is going on with them. Oh, man, I wonder what you call babies born after the year 2000. Just call them Generation iPhone or something. But anyways, it's something I realized the other day. It's just like, guys, we literally have to do everything. I mean, we're born right from the get-go. Our egos are always tested. Right from the day someone punches us in the face in school, which, although I have to admit, when girls bully each other, to be honest, around that time, I'm happy I have a penis, because I'd rather take a punch to the face than be subjected to weeks of psychological warfare, you know? The type that gets in your head, they fuck you up in there, man. You can't escape your brain, you know? You can perforate it, but you can't escape it. Not that I'm asking you to do the other, the former, you know, that was a joke. This is all ramblings of a guy that just drank coffee in the morning and is trying to get the shit out of the way so he can go play football with a bunch of savages while it's about to rain. So you may take this with a massive grain of salt, so relax. I don't even have any behavioral studies degrees or anything, so relax. Anyways, going back to the point that, yeah, guys, we have to do everything, man. Our egos are constantly tested. We constantly have to learn. We constantly have to adapt. We constantly have to do skills and everything. That's why sometimes, like, I remember when I was doing that online dating thing. I'm like, okay, so I'll see some profiles and the chicks will be saying, oh, can't you guys say anything apart from hi, how you doing and everything? And I seriously, my fingers would twitch because I just want to reply to her, hey, listen, honey, hey, why don't you open up a conversation? Why don't you just say hi? Try to pick up a guy. I mean, it is the age of this whole equal opportunities, right? It's like third rate feminism nonsense. I would say it's nonsense because it's fucking crazy. But anyways, if we look at what that's supposed to be, it means you should be of equal standing of a man. Right? That's what we're all going for, equality. So if you're equal, why don't you just open up a conversation with a guy? Go to a bar, say, yeah, I like that dude. I'm going to go talk to him. Yeah, try that. Guys, I've been doing this right from the get-go in kindergarten. We see a girl we kind of like. We go up to her and we say hi. We always have to do the heavy lifting. Can you imagine that? It's like sales call. This cold selling. You have to go up to a chick that you kind of fancy. You have to build up the courage. You got to get a game plan, game theory, co-intel, counter proposals and everything. All that goes in your head within the space of 18 seconds before you say hi or hello to the chick, And then, of course, because women, they don't see this, they just instantly say, go away or whatever, and they behave all bitchy to dudes. Not all of them, of course. But you got to admit, to any female that listens to this, friends that have done that, you just don't see it. So, and the other thing is that because your egos have never, ever, for the most part, been tested because girls are treated better than boys. They are more valued in society, at least in modern societies. So I reckon women are the new privileged class, to be honest. So when I laugh when in America, those crazy feminist types, it's like, guys should check their privilege. I'm like, are you nuts? Are you fucking crazy? What do you mean guys should check our privilege? Yeah, maybe we should. What? No, maybe we shouldn't actually. No, let me think about that. Yeah, privilege that we fucking earned, we have to do everything. I mean, if there's a war, we get drafted instantly to go die in some battlefield somewhere. Don't even think you qualify for that. We have to earn everything. We do the most dangerous jobs. We fucking build society. So yeah, maybe we deserve a little bit of privilege, I'll put that in there, But anyways, before I go political with shot, obviously I know nothing, and I'm sure a few of you have already sharpening their pencils and writing hastily worded letters my way, which is fine. I'll read them. I'm going to do much else with them. I'm going off point again. Anyways, my point is, and I have a lot of them. So women's egos are rarely tested. So they're easily bruised, which is why women are easily offended. Whereas guys were just told to deal with it. Literally, I've been told that my whole life. I've learned to adapt where if I'm subjected to absolutely shitty behavior, I just take it in. It's like a fucking boxing match. You just take those fucking liver punches, man. You take them. You take them like a man. Take them. You get up. You get up before the ref counts to 10. You get back up. You put those gloves up. Ding, ding, ding. You go back in. To the day your fucking heart stops. Wow. Whew, got a bit serious there. But yeah, that is my point, that we have to do everything. And then going back 20 minutes ago, while I was having this breakfast meal, I was thinking about how, like, a guy, fine, he starts dating a woman, Now, if she's one of those types that believe in this whole 3 dates nonsense before you even get to kiss her, you do all that, which may take a month or 2, depending. And then, you hang out together, whatever, try to develop connections and everything. You kiss her, whatever. Then you go on a few more dates. Then maybe she lets you touch her boobs this time. Then you go a few more dates. And then before you know it, you're trying, she's like, okay, you know what? After about 4 months, this is a fucking long time. I got to commend dudes to do that, honestly. I was like, woof, dude, you're patient. For me, I'm like, I don't lie, man. After 6 weeks, I'm like, what are we doing here, man? That's my relationship thing. I think some women, they date guys after 3 years. It's like, what are we doing? Are you going to marry me or not? For me, it's 6 weeks. I'm like, listen, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I mean, yeah, I kind of like you. I'm getting seriously though. I mean, what are we doing? Are we gonna? Okay. So my question is this. My notion is this. Before I even get to my notion, let's go back to the scenario, right? So after 4 months, after 4 months, okay. After 4 months, yeah. So they get to the part after God knows 9 dates, whatever, and she's like, yeah, you know what? Let me give him this now. I'll give it up to him. Next part's not easy. Anyways, from the guy's perspective, yeah, so you guys are getting on, mood lighting this after a nice dinner, romantic dinner, supposedly anyway. Mood lighting, everything, this music going in there, you guys are getting it on. And then it gets to the point where, you want to take it to the bed. She gets into the bed and just lies there. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but I'm like, what? Is this it? Is this it? Is this what I've gone on like 4 months of dating constantly for, walking that tightrope? Careful not to say the wrong thing because obviously it's like a game. You're playing a fucking video game. It's like Dark Souls. If anyone has ever played Dark Souls, I've never played it because I like my life. I don't want to suffer. It's one of the hardest games on the planet because you get punished severely. So yeah, it's like playing the video game. When you're dating some chick, you have to, say the right things. Don't text her too much, don't call her too much, or say the right things. And I find that very constraining because Jesus Christ, like you're playing a fucking video game, and at the end of it, you're just gonna have sex and that's your reward. I mean, there's something weird about that, man. How about we just be honest with each other right from the get go, so that if we don't click, we don't click, so you don't find out a year or two later that oh my god, this guy's a fucking asshole. How about that? Anyway, so yeah, after 4 months and about 9 dates, tightrope walking, trying to say the right thing and whatnot. Yeah, you get to the main. I mean, from a guy's perspective, anyway, you get to the deed itself, and she just lies there. Honestly, for me, hey, some guys will go for it, but like, yeah, okay, But for me, I'm like, no, this is not what I've been fighting through the trenches for. Because there's something about that. It's like, is this it? Is this all you can offer? Just lying there. I was like, and I remember I was having breakfast. I was like, holy shit, I have to fucking do this as well. You have to do everything. You have to. You have to basically. You have to basically, that's my point. That guys have to do everything. That's why we build society. We do everything, everything, everything. Okay, listen. Imagine right from the get-go, you see her with her friends in a club, you have the courage to go to speak to her, make sure you say the right thing so she can, make a mental note to file your way under the 8 guys I've already spoken to her. And then, this gives me another idea actually. And then you date her and everything, you're making the first moves, trying not to say the wrong thing, you go on the date, your heart's nervous as hell. You order the right. Anyways, you do all that. You and obviously, as a guy, you're horny all the time. You just, you want to have sex with her because that's kind of the way guys show affection. That's how we bond with women. But somehow women don't understand this. They think, oh, we just want to bang. Yeah, we kind of do because that's a biological imperative in us. But at the same time, that's how we bond. That's how we create bonds. I mean, women create emotional bonds. And that's why some women don't care if you sleep with other women as long as you are still in love with them, quote unquote. For guys, it's the opposite. When we have sex with you, that's how we bond. And if it's good sex, we stay, which is my point. So if you get to, I haven't even started talking about what I wanted to talk about today. If you if you got to it 4 months in, you want to have sex, and then she just lies there and she displays absolutely no skill that she knows what the hell she's doing. It's kind of fine if she's like in her early 20s to then maybe 23, 24. But after that, I mean, come on, you gotta have some experience, man. I mean, hey, preferences, man. This is me. Some guys would just go for it, like they're just happy to be there. For me, yeah, I'll do it. But I'm like, I'm gonna have a chat afterwards. And I said, listen, we need to bulk this up. It's ridiculous. I mean, I didn't do all that effort just to have you lie down. So that's my point. So I'm sure that line must have run through a couple of men's heads when it's like, wait, I have to do this as well? I have to do everything now, And imagine if you decide to date this lady. And that means you have to do it all the time because I don't know. Women don't necessarily watch porn, at least not normal chicks. I seem to only run into mercenaries these days, like crazy deep cover operatives. But I'm sure your standard civilians basically probably don't watch porn. So, and I would think that would make logical sense. I mean, fine, for women, don't watch porn because you enjoy it. Just watch it to see what's done popularly so you can learn. So you mirror neurons in your brain because you know what? That looks good. Let me try that with my fella. How about that? You can just do that. Trust me, you do that a couple of times, your dude will be doing everything for you, you know? It's so simple. Jesus. Anyways. So, yeah. So imagine as a guy, you know, she's one of those, she's a bed lie. She just lies there and expects you to do everything. And then you do everything. And then, I don't know, because for I sound like an asshole now. Well, I am, I am an asshole in a way. I'm a nice one, but I am an asshole anyway. 30 minutes in, I haven't even spoken about what I want to talk about. And so you have to do everything. And then for her, the extent of her sexual skills is the missionary position, which granted is how everything gets made. It's why we're 7 billion people, because you're not gonna, you're not gonna have 7 billion people on the planet if everyone did doggy style or something, or reverse cowgirl or something. Those are variations, but they bring that extra variation, that variety and flavor to the mix, so it makes it interesting. I mean, if you're doing missionary positions all the time, fucking hell, mate, fucking hell. It's not the fucking 70s, man. It's not Ireland. I don't know why I said those two things, but that's still incredibly still. Fine, you start off with a missionary position. You most likely may end in a missionary position, but come on, just do something there, like a standing 6'9", spooning, reverse spooning. Yeah, I sound like a deviant now. I'm just saying, okay? So imagine you're married to this person. That's all she does. Jesus Christ. Yeah, apparently this is the power side. Yeah, but you do like her more than the sex. I mean, yeah, of course, but the sex is an important part of it. I mean, have you ever been in a relationship where you don't have sex? The fuck is that about? Have you ever been? No, I don't think so. No one has ever been in that kind of relationship. So don't give me shit, man. I'm just being honest. Yeah, I'm being honest, and now I'm an asshole. So yeah, that thought process got me laughing. Not the part of being an asshole, but just the sheer fact that guys go through all this effort, and it's like fucking playing it's like the longest gamble ever. Because basically, if you don't have sex with her like relatively soon, you don't know how good she is. So, and this goes opposite both ways, from women. But women don't necessarily think that way, because it's fine. The sheer fact that women can have sex with so many dudes, that's not a problem. But as my friend put it succinctly the other day, is they need to have, if they have sex with someone, they need to have sex with someone that, not even the skill part, but it's just there for them. And I kind of get their dilemma. So I appreciate that dilemma also. So for the women, it's challenging, because you have to find someone that just doesn't want to, that's all he wants. He just wants to like fucking walk away. And there are some dudes like that, unfortunately. So that kind of shoots my point halfway down. But the way I see it, if a woman is skilled in bed, the guy's going to stay. Because if you think about it, guys like fucking, it's like from the moment puberty hits, when the rage that first hits us. Yeah. So, and I would say on a personal level, all my girlfriends have been great in bed, all of them, except one that didn't last very long, and that she was in her 20s. That was when I was like 22. So, that didn't work out too well, but literally all my girlfriends since then, they've been great in bed. So, and it's not like I stayed but I liked them. So that helped a lot. But they were also great in bed. So it was like the perfect cross, because you love chatting with them afterwards. I remember like one of my girlfriends, we would talk to, I'll go to a place, we'd watch TV, chill out, hang out, do the deed, and literally from 11 o'clock p.m., instead of, we say, I want to go to bed, and then we start talking, and then we'd keep talking shit till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, okay, listen, we got to go to bed now, because I have to wake up in 2 hours. And we wake up and do the deed before going to work. So that was perfect. So on both sides, on a mental level, they were great. And physically, on the sexual side, they were also good. So you need those two things. You can't do missionary positions for the rest of your life, man. I don't know how you do it. But my point, going back, callbacks, making multiple callbacks now. Yeah, man. I mean, if you marry that person, all you do is missionary positions. And of course, because you're afraid that you're going to lose that person by even broaching the subject that, honey, maybe we need to mix this up. I don't know. Don't suffer in silence, man. But my point still remains that guys do everything. And I was going to connect it to... Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I was going to connect it to my point today, but I think I've lost that idea now. Let's see. Yeah. And I think also it's like one of the complaints where I saw those models on TV, on the internet. I don't watch TV anymore, and they're gorgeous physically. They're just absolutely gorgeous and everything. But I can't help but have this inkling, and this is a gross generalization here, that the majority of those women, they just literally, that's all they can be, is be pretty. I think because the way I want to think about it is like, they realize or understand that the world values them for their beauty, and they've put so much effort into it that everything else just falls apart. Personality falls apart, everything else. And yeah, so I was on that thought process while I was reading like this whole, you probably heard of it by now, Johnny Depp and his wife Amber Heard, they getting a divorce. And to be honest, I had this whole diatribe laid out I was going to talk about, but then I read another article this morning before hitting the record button. Apparently it's like, she's alleging that he physically abused her. It's one of the reasons that she's getting a divorce now. So I was like, for fuck's sake, John, I'm like, so I started reading it. I was getting annoyed because I'm like, fuck, I really like this guy. Even though I've never met him, that's how much my personal relationships go. I just like people I've never met. And I was like, fuck, that would suck, because I really liked him, and now this shit's happening. So I kept reading the article, feeling slightly annoyed, and I got to a part where the wife, Amber Heard, she had filed for spousal support. I was like, wait. I was like, okay, what's happening now? So and she's not a poor person. She's an actress. She's a supermodel or whatever. And they've been married for 15 months, and now she wants to divorce him, and she's filing for spousal support. And this is technically before she's gonna smash his wealth in half, because that's what women do. When you divorce, you just take half, if not everything. So that made me started to think. I was like, okay, fine, this is very, okay, let me just clear it out. Yeah, I'm not a fan of domestic violence, both ways, because women do it too. I am not a fan. I don't condone it at all. It's, no one should do that. If you guys are arguing, argue it out, but don't hit each other. I remember arguing with someone, like this lady I was gonna date actually, and we had this conversation, and I decided not to date her afterwards because she was going ballistic, because I was talking about the whole Chris Brown Rihanna situation. And I'm saying, okay, fine, we know Chris Brown assaulted Rihanna, but I'm like, what happened before? Because I think there is a causality or causality between someone being okay in level 0 going to level 381 in violence in the opposite direction. I'm like, what happened before he started hitting her or whatever? And she was like, oh, why am I even talking about that? It doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, okay, so the fact is he assaulted her. There's no disputing that. I think it's a piece of shit. I still think it's a piece of shit for doing that. But what happened before? Did she hit him first? Or what did she say? So you have to ask those questions, as uncomfortable as they sound. So, because personally for me, and I made this point clear to this lady I was talking to at the time, if you're arguing with a guy, keep it with words. If you hit him, you are opening a door. And you're going to receive a lot of pain out of it. Because if you hit a guy, you are in a way communicating to him that you are okay to go fisticuffs. And men will always win, because we're naturally built to win physical confrontations, especially with the opposite gender. You can't beat us being physical, unless, of course, you're Ronda Rousey. She'll fucking snap your arm bar in half. She'll snap your arm, man. She'll break all your legs. Unless she's doing mixed martial arts. But my point is, and if I have daughters, I'll tell them the same thing. I'm like, never, ever hit a guy, if a guy hits my daughter, I'm going to kill him instantly. There's no point about that. There's no arguments there. But I don't want to go to jail still. So my point is, it should never be physical. Never, ever hit a guy and think it might not hit you. Because some guys, like me, if a girl hits me, the relationship's done. There's no salvage here. I'm not going to hit her back. I'm just going to walk away. I'm saying, fuck this. I'm out. It's different if she has a knife pointed towards me, though, and that's when my jiu-jitsu moves come in, because I'm going to restrain her, something. But if it's just like we're arguing and she hits me for no reason, I'm out. That's it, because that is the tone of the relationship. You should expect that now. Every single time you argue, she's going to hit you. I do not want to do that. I don't want to have kids with that kind of person where the children are involved, blah, nah. So point is, I don't condone physical violence, domestic violence anyway, because I'm gonna just talk a bit about this. So apparently, Amber Heard alleges that Johnny Depp at some point. Okay, I should probably put it in context that 3 days before this particular incident, his mother had died. And he was very close to his mom. So, and I could imagine, because I love my mom. All guys love their mothers. Mothers have to be total dicks if their sons don't love them. So, understandably, he must have been upset. Maybe he was upset. Maybe the wrong things were said. And apparently, she alleges that he was smashing up the house. And I can't probably get that because he was angry, probably upset, angry, just, And then, so this is the part that's tricky. So she alleges that, he took up an iPhone and just threw it at her like baseball throwing style, and he smashed her in the cheek. And I think if you do a search for it, you can see the bruises on the cheek and whatever. So she during the argument, she called her friends. Oh, please come, Johnny's going nuts and everything. So the friend came and stood between him and her and John, and he battered the friend's hand and says, "I want to talk to my wife. Get out of my way." So she fled, and now she's filed for restraining order. And it's a bit sucky, really, because I really like Johnny Depp, but I was thinking that way until she filed for spousal support. So I'm now thinking, okay, so what is happening here? Is she manipulating John? I have to say this because, yes, there is one possibility that, all that happened. And maybe I'm not even disputing the sheer fact that maybe Johnny Depp did throw the phone at her, because I don't think he's disputing that. So that probably did happen. But who knows? He was provoked. Not saying that it was justified to do so, but I'm just saying now from my perspective that, fine, that did happen, but maybe she planned for something like this to happen anyway. Maybe she is provoking him because apparently they weren't happy in that part of the relationship. And this is speculating like fucking crazy. I don't know these people, man. I'm just speculating over here. But from what I've read, she sounds like a mercenary, man. Because if you claim to have loved someone enough to marry them, fine, the guy took a phone and chucked it at you. I mean, that's fucked up. But most of the time, what makes more sense to most people is like, you go somewhere quiet, you reflect, and, you try to say, okay, fine, I really love this guy, but, maybe he needs help, something. But no, she files for divorce and seeking spousal support. So the guy is violent towards you. You probably don't like him anymore, but you want his money. And it's like you're a poor person. It's not like he's ever robbed you of earning your own living or something. So that just sounds very mercenary to me, to be honest. And I think I remember I read this when I started becoming aware of this issue. I saw a glimpse of a article headline saying that, one of the reasons that she went for divorce because Johnny Depp's family hates her guts. I'm like, okay, now you're filing for a divorce. Guess how many more parts of you they hate? I'm sure they hate more than your guts now. And apparently she's like bisexual, and I think that's one of the reasons, allegedly, that Johnny Depp was upset that she, used to have relationships with, not even that, but she was probably in a way still having relationships with women, and he was never really comfortable with that, so maybe that fueled something. But the sheer fact that, see, that's the part I don't like about this whole thing, because she asked her spouse, I'm like, Jesus Christ, the judge had to, deny that particular request. I mean, Jesus Christ. What, you want to start fleecing the guy? And I think the last time I read about it, she was going to ask him $35 million off the bat. You're married to a guy for 15 months. You don't have kids with him. It's not like you weren't working. You had your own career. And now you want $15 million. I mean, the way I said, if she had any honor or whatever, I mean, this is out of spite, maybe. She was like, listen, okay, fine. It's not working out. I'm out. Sorry, John. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. Let's just go my separate ways. I'm sure she has her own money, allegedly. But this is why I think she's a mercenary now, because she wants all that money. God, she might even go for half. That's insane. And so it's interesting because Johnny Depp's been married 3 times. So I have kind of a gripe with that. Anyway, his second wife came out defending him, saying while she was married with him, he would never. He's not that kind of person to ever be violent. He's a like cool, calm person, soft, which, in a way, I'm kind of going with because from his demeanor, he doesn't seem like a shark really. If I should go for allegedly or a jackal or whatever, who knows? I only know his online on-screen appearance, and actors are apparently chameleons anyway. But someone that's married to him for like, she got married to him for 2 years. That's the second wife, said he would never harm a fly. He's not that kind of person. So for this to happen in the way it did, who knows? Who knows? I mean, the police investigated the scene. They could find no evidence for assault. So they're not treating the incident as an assault incident. So that's interesting as well. And there was this other part where, if you did the search for Amber Heard, now you see some photos of her with a bruise on her cheek. And then I think just a day or two after the alleged incident, she was seen in a photo on one of her friends' Twitter page with 2 of her friends, and she was smiling and, fine. The hair covered that part of her face, not even too much where the bruise was supposed to be. And there's some people claiming that they did some forensics on the photo and they couldn't see evidence of a bruise. So there's that angle. So the whole thing's getting really complicated now. It's fucking messy. And I'm just like, fucking hell. So mercenaries. I'm beginning to think she's a mercenary, man. I mean, you married someone for 15 months. And again, I have to put some blame in Johnny Depp. I was like, dude, you've been married twice and you married a third time and he's probably going to get married again. Why are you doing this, man? I mean, the guy got married to some French woman that had his 2 kids. I'm like, isn't that enough? You divorced her. Why get married again? Just have girlfriends. You're rich. You don't need to be married. You have kids. And I don't get it. It's like I was talking to another of my buddies, all who are anonymous, of course. I'm not going to reveal anyone's name. And he was saying, he's a poor guy, so he's happy because he's going out with his girlfriend. It's like he's never going to, he doesn't mind getting married because he's poor anyway. What's she going to take? And that actually made me think about it. I was like, yeah, actually, that makes sense. Like, the more zeros you accrue to your paycheck, the more likely the divorce looks favorable in the eyes of the opposite sex. Obviously, I'm again generalizing, but you cannot absolutely discount the existence of mercenaries. I mean, even Bill Burr, my favorite comedian of all time, in one of his specials says, we live in an epidemic of gold-digging holes. A bit harsh from him, I should add. But in a way, it's kind of true. I mean, there's evidence of this. Well, no direct evidence. Look at me here. I'm like the Attorney General spouting evidence. I mean, like, examples like, I don't know, Robin Williams got married 3 times. Apparently that's why he kept working, which is why he couldn't get enough roles. At least this is, again, speculation, man. I love the guy, but he got married 3 times. He was still paying for the divorce for those 2 wives, I think, and then the 3rd wife was getting something as well because she was about to divorce him, and the guy had to get back to work at that age. He couldn't find a lot of roles, and he already was struggling with depression, and God knows, maybe that was the pushing limit. But then again, I don't know. But you gotta look at it from that angle. John Cleese, man, Fawlty Towers guy, Monty Python's guy, recently got divorced from his wife, and she's taking half of his wealth. I think like 19 million pounds. Which is a lot of fucking money, man. It's pounds fucking sterling. She's taking it, and she's like, she doesn't even have kids from, because she has 2 kids from the previous marriage, and he has 2 kids from previous marriages, and this is his 3rd marriage. And he was joking about it, saying, it was like, how did he say it? It's like, I think he got off easy because, she's taking half, and he's the one earning more. So imagine if she was the one earning more or whatever, she was just taking everything or something along those lines. And I'm like, yeah, but the point is, John, don't fucking get married. Okay. And it's like, obviously, you have a bad track record now. And this goes back to, like, Johnny Depp. You've married once. I don't know. I think he divorced his wife because she was pretty cool, and he divorced her anyway. God knows. And he got married again and divorced. And then got married again. And now the wife's divorcing him. Initially, the first time I heard of this divorce, actually, she was filing for something called it's the perfect term they use in Hollywood. It's like irreconcilable differences. I need to find out what the fuck that means, man. It's just mean, we just don't get along. Okay, irreconcilable differences, yeah. And I'm like, I swear to God, why do I have this feeling? Maybe 3, 4 years from now, I'll be talking to you again about this. Hey, that's future plans about how Johnny Depp's getting married yet again, and how John Cleese is getting married yet again. It's like these guys don't learn. If you're that rich, you don't need to fucking get married, man. Just have girlfriends, especially if you have kids. What's the fucking point? Don't get married. It's ridiculous. Oh man. And then we look about like Mel Gibson's ex. He's a bit of an asshole, really. Actually, I mean, I remember talking about that for a previous episode, where, my God, his wife that had I don't know if she was married to. I think he was. She gave him 8 kids, and he still decides to divorce her. And I'm like, so when she took half as well, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna side with her because 8 kids is a lot. That's like baby boomer generation class childbearing right there. Because nowadays women just have 2 or 3, because of the economics of it. But it makes me wonder though, in the baby boomer generation, when everyone was poor anyway, they just didn't give a fuck. It's like, I'm just gonna have kids. A couple of them might die halfway through. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just balance it out, see who survives. Just had a bunch of hardy DNA, in their kids surviving. So in essence, you could do it today, but but I think that goes with economically. The poorer a country is, the more children people give birth to, and then the richer the country is, the birth rate suffers, which I think is a problem now for most Western societies. Like if you look at Scandinavia, Germany, France, I think Germany has the lowest birth rate in all of the Eurozone. It's at 1.8 in a house. You need 2.1 at least, or 2.2 standard. But yeah, God, I went off my point again. What was I talking about? Oh, man. Yeah, man. Mel Gibson. So when his wife took about half his word, I wasn't really complaining. I was like, yeah, dude, you kind of deserve that one, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. You had 8 kids with her. She was loyal to you the entire time. The fuck, So I think you deserved that one. And then he had that spat with his Russian girlfriend, Oksana Grigorova or whatever. God knows what happened there, but we do kind of saw the output of it with a recorded conversation of Mel Gibson just screaming at her on the telephone. I'm like, dude, maybe he's really that fucking crazy, man. And she probably had enough. That's why she just recorded the conversation. He was just saying the nastiest things to her, But then again, God knows how that started. But apparently, that guy is insane. And that's a weird thing again. That's why I'm going back to the Johnny Depp situation. It's like, yeah, fine. There is also that possibility that all Amber Heard is saying is true. But at the same time, her behaviors are not entirely innocent after all. So I'm thinking she's manipulating here. But there is always that facade of all these actors and actresses or whatever. Who knows what the hell they are really like in real life. There's this YouTube personality. Let me see if I can find her really quick. Where her boyfriend came out saying she was physically abusing him. John Diabo, I think. It's not John Diabo. It's like, oh God, I hate doing this during the podcast. YouTube. I don't know. Probably have to do this afterwards. I should probably do my research, but I don't know. Okay, fuck it. I can't do it in the podcast. That's not what I want to do. But anyways, yeah, this guy is a famous YouTube personality. Did this heart-wrenching video about how his girlfriend, another YouTube personality, was just abusing the fuck out of him, mentally and some points physically. And you look at this lady in her videos, and like, you wouldn't think she's someone that could do that. But apparently she's a bit of a nutter, actually. And so you always have to, put both sides of the equation in. But all these dudes, man, getting married constantly, I don't get it. If you get married the first time, it doesn't work, yeah, learn your lesson, move on. Why get married again? What is the benefits of it? It's like when you have kids, not like your sons or daughters will call you husband, wife. No, they call you mother and father because that's what they know. They don't understand marriage. So what's the fucking point? I mean, besides maybe, I don't know, do you get discounts from the government? I do know there's that whole emergency medical thing. So if you're in a coma, only your wife or your husband is allowed to like take a decision over your welfare or whatever. I mean, they should abolish that. If you're in a civil union with someone, or if you're living with someone for the longest time, I mean, what's his name? Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, they're still together after all these years. They never got married. Still works. I'm sure if they did, they'll get divorced. So I don't know, man. I think marriage is fine. I understand that it is an artificial construct, at least now, but it's kind of held society through a long time, and they say it's the basis of a family. I don't agree with that last bit. I don't know. If you're religious, do it. For me, I don't see the point. I'm just happy if I'm there with the person, my partner. I might marry her, our own personal relationship. I don't need to get the government involved. I don't know, man, the whole programming thing. I think it's just, what about you guys are okay, you get along? Isn't that what it's all about? Why do you need to do marriage? It's not like, especially in America where, 50% of marriages end up in divorce anyway, and 70% of those divorces are triggered by the wives, the women. Statistics, you can search that, you can take me to the bank on that one. So it's not like, you get married and that the moment you think of divorcing, your hand explodes because that's where the ring is. The ring's are actually packed with C4. Can you imagine that? Oh, can you imagine that? Like, government issued wedding rings just packed with enough C4 to take out your finger. Pretty much your hand, if you file for divorce or you do anything that necessitates a divorce. Granted, there must be like multiple protocols involved in triggering such a explosive package. Can you imagine that, right? So you cheat on your wife or you cheat on your husband, and that triggers some kind of weird reaction, and the whole ring just explodes because like, yep, there's no need now. You're not married anymore. Just explodes and takes out your finger. Probably a few other fingers with you. Yeah, I'm sure no one would get married, or only crazy people would do it. But no, my point is, being married doesn't necessarily stop that either. If you go back to my crazy buddy's idea that, he doesn't care, if a married woman hits on him, because he's like, at that point, the fact that she's going out of marriage that far, he has nothing to do with it, especially if he has nothing to do with it. I mean, he wouldn't naturally prey on married women, but if they cross his path, he's going to bang him anyway, because, if she's that far off the reservation, all better off, And the same thing goes with dudes, because apparently, fine, you've committed to this woman, you're supposed to be faithful, and then you probably run into some hot secretary at your workplace or something, and she's just, and you do the deed, and that's fucked up too. So in the end, nothing stops anyone from doing whatever they want to do. It's just people. That's why I don't necessarily believe that. I don't get it. Maybe someone can explain it to me. I don't get it. I just think people are more important. You find someone that's nice. You find someone that's not an asshole, that doesn't just lie in bed every single time. Okay, I suppose for the woman, let's say she's just like really go-getter. She's very sexual. She likes fucking whatnot. Yeah, there are a few of you that exists. Trust me, I've met a couple of them. And then she's, this guy's very nice and everything. And apparently that's it. It's too nice that, you get in the bed. It doesn't even pull your hair when you guys are banging, doggy style, whatever. It's like, I can just speculate that you keep talking to a girl. It's like, it doesn't even like pulling my hair. She's like, no. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, it doesn't even like it. I mean, I wanted to go down on him, and it says he doesn't like it because it's degrading. And I was like, I just wanted to suck dick right then. And he was saying, no, I don't want it. I'm losing my mind. I don't know what's happening. He just wants to have sex, missionary style, all the time. And I'm going fucking crazy. I just want him to like literally fuck me into the pillow, and he won't do it. I don't know what's doing. I'm looking at my friends. I'm going through my list. I'm calling my ex-boyfriends for advice. I don't know what the fuck. I'm sure there are a few. I mean, honestly, though, if you can sexually frustrate a woman as a guy, you are failing miserably. It's probably one of the easiest things to do. But then again, it's not if she's just lying there in the bed all the time. Hey, and again, this is just me. You okay? Maybe there's some dudes that just like that. You like the whole lying on the bed thing. You do everything. For me, I don't mind that from time to time, but Jesus, if I have to do it all the time, we're gonna have a conversation. I'm just gonna wait for you to come home from work, and I'll just have YouPorn blasting full volume loud, saying, "Listen, that is what I want you to do. That is gonna help us. Let's do that," and then walk away, drop the remote control, and dive out the window. Never come back. But in so saying, I personally believe, like, going back to the whole marriage thing, if you want to get married, I think, personally for me, people should get married in the mid-40s. That's, I think, the right age. I think getting married at, 20, between 19 and 24, you must be insane to get married. I mean, you're barely considered an adult. I will consider you as an adult, but you are barely considered an adult by society. And I blame parents for this. They coddle their kids too much. You getting married at that age is insane. For the guys, hormones are everywhere. You just want to bang everything. For women, they're not sexually mature enough to understand guys at that age. So it's a mess. It's a goddamn mess, And she's at the peak of her beauty, and it's just getting married at that age is madness. You shouldn't do it. 30s is good. When 30s, at least one of you is 30 and one of you is above 25. You both know what the fuck you're doing. Relatively, and if not, the guy should know. Otherwise, that's a fucking mess waiting to happen. Shit, I gotta go soon. But in the mid-40s, yeah, I think that's perfect age, because by then you probably have kids already. You've been together for at least 15 years. You both know each other enough. You're both seen all the annoyances you guys bring to the table, and you're okay with it. And then on a Saturday morning, you guys are having brunch. You're in bed. You're watching, reading some website, God knows what. Guy's reading the Wall Street Journal. What the fuck? And he just turns over to you and says, "Honey." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I love you, right?" She's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Want to get married?" It's like, "Fuck yeah, why not?" That's it. Because no one's going anywhere. You love each other. Your kids are amazing. You have 2 or 3 of them. One of them's almost in university. You know what? It's like, I'm going to hitch my wagon to you. So all this time I wasn't sure. But I think that's the best time to do it. Because then you have experienced the world. You've experienced each other. You've gone through trials and tribulation. And yeah, that's the best time to do it. Every other time, it's just fucking madness. I think people don't know. I don't think people are experienced enough to do that. I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, if you've been married all that time and you get divorced in your 40s, for the guy, he has to do a catch-up, go to seminars and understand the dating game if he's going to start dating again. And then for women, it's even more difficult because, you probably, I don't know, you probably have to find someone older, because it depends on your kid's age, man. I've heard some women talk about how they wouldn't want to date like anyone younger or near the age of their children, so that reduces the pool severely. Ugh, the whole thing's a mess, honestly. But no, I really do think people should get married in their 40s. Don't do it any younger. It's just a nightmare waiting to happen. Ugh, God. Anyways, seeing I've managed to piss off even more people this time, I'm gonna go play football now because I'm already running late. Thanks for listening, guys. I need to get that old podcast aggregator thing, RSS aggregator thing, so my episodes are better published. So if you guys can listen to my rantings on the go while doing more important things. But again, I should sort that out. I'm gonna repopulate my Libsyn account, make sure that's up to date, since at least now I can get it working. And as usual, primarily, you'll probably be listening to this on YouTube. My apologies for that. Like I said, I'm gonna sort out this RSS aggregator thing. So going forward, maybe I'll probably do the same for SoundCloud also. So at least you can have multiple ways of listening to the podcast on the go. But yes, like I said, find me on YouTube, Sounds Legit Podcast, or on Libsyn. Do a search for Sounds Legit Podcast, but you might find something interesting there, because I discovered last week that there is another podcast with the exact same name. So it's interesting. In a way, I think my podcast is older, but then again, there's another podcast called Sounds Legit, but that ended in 2013. So I discovered this other podcast channel on SoundCloud, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, parallel thinking. So these guys actually thought of the same thing like I did, but I think my channel, or my series, or my show is a bit older since I started in January. So if you're familiar with my logo, you probably won't even see it straight away. So I need to sort that out. So forget SoundCloud for now. Just focus on YouTube, search me there. And as usual, I am also on Libsyn. Let me just get that back to you. Right, I'm on Sounds Legit Podcast.libsyn. That's libsyn.com/podcast. Again, that is Sounds Legit Podcast.libsyn.com/podcast. I'm on YouTube. Do a search for me there. I'm the only channel there. Yes, I got them. I got you by the fucking balls, you imposters. That's all right. We cool. But yeah, so this is episode 11. I think I have a good name for it. I should be able to get Audacious in for another sit down next week, and I really got to work on getting more people on there because, to be honest, it's a lot more fun with someone else to bounce off ideas off. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even found out about what the hell an Alabama, what's it called? Hot Pocket. It's one of the best things I loved about the previous episode is the discovery and horror of what an Alabama Hot Pocket is. You know, these are the things you learn when you talk to people. Anyways, yeah, I should really go now. I have to go play football. But guys, thank you so much for listening. And I'm just trying to find a recorder. And yeah, I'll catch you next week. Take it easy and enjoy the rest of your bank holiday because we're in England and that's what we do here. We have a lot of banks, so we follow the leads. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.